Batteries under the sign of the Black Mark. This is a classic release by, of course, the classic metal band Bathory, who came out of the 80s, the first new wave of black metal wave. And I have to say, I'm not a really big fan of black metal. I like some bands like Emperor and Dark Throne, Celtic Frost, but they're kind of more trashy in a way. I know this one is controversial, Agalog, that's probably my favorite, and that is, I believe, the most hated. So they get a lot of praise, and they blend in a lot of folk to their music, which not every black metal fan is a fan of, because they like the black metal just in one regular form, But I like the calm and the moody and the atmosphere to that. I love the diversity by Agalog, but that is of course debatable. Black metal fans are, I believe, pretty straightforward. They want their black metal just in one way. Just screaming vocals all the time and just blast beats everywhere. That is why I'm not the biggest fan of black metal, but Bathory is surely a big influence on the scene. I believe the most credited, or seen as the most legendary black metal band ever, because you can say Emperor, but they only made 4 records, and Dark Throne kind of went downhill after Panzerfaust, I would say. So we still have this classic band, and they're kind of flawless because they have a great first half to their career. Or Quarten, I believe. Quarten is the lead singer's name, the guy that does all the instruments, a bit similar to Varg Vikernes. Something like that, Varg, that's a crazy guy in black metal. Everybody is crazy, but this is, by the way, requested by, 2 minutes in, and now we're getting to the request. This is requested by Rockdoo. I think I'm shooting from the hip here because I cannot find the original comment that left it behind. So I'm guessing Rockdoo, because no one else really on this channel is into black metal besides me. And even I, even I am not the biggest fan of black metal, but I still can dig some bands here and there. We only have 10 tracks on there, and the length of this record is really short. It is credited on Wikipedia as just regular black metal, but I'm gonna say that this is slightly trashy. I would say slightly thrash metal, not a lot. Celtic Frost was more trashy, I would say. Venom as well, probably the biggest influence on black metal. Although I hate Venom, but still. The track listing, or actually no, to go to the album. I believe this is the first wave of black metal, Bathory, and later they became Viking metal, I believe, blended in with first wave, something like that, or they became fully Viking metal, or I have to say Quarten. But this is a really classic release by the band, seen as the stepping stone for the band, because they first had the self-titled album, which was, I believe, influential as hell, of course. But it's kind of maybe this is a bold statement, but it's kind of the Black Sabbath album of black metal, maybe something like that. Maybe it was the first, maybe it wasn't. Let me know in the comments down below which was the first. I believe the self-titled Bathory album was the first ever sort of black metal album. I'm not the biggest expert, so don't go crazy on me. But this was really seen as the first true gem in their discography. Although the self-titled and the second one were acclaimed as well, but this one really set the tone for what was to come for the band. What really was the sound of Bathory. This is first wave, so you can really hear some thrash elements, Venom and Celtic Frost inspired. I believe those bands came I believe right around when Bathory came around, so something like that. Yeah, it's produced by Boss and Quarton, recorded at Heaven Shore Studio. Yeah, I'm not gonna read all the shit. Album cover by Quarton. Album front cover photo by Gunnar Sillens. I'm not gonna read all the shit, just read all the shit. Yeah, I love myself, I really do. Yeah, 5 minutes in and we haven't talked about one track. Let's do that for a bit. Nocturnal Obeisance, something like that. It's just a bit of a dreary, just a bit of a atmospheric opener, so there's not a lot to talk about here. It's, I believe, not even 2 minutes long, so I wish that this song was a bit longer, or this transition into the album. The second song is Massacre, and this is, one of the first songs of the actual album. It's really heavy, it's really brooding, it's just right in your face, it's just, right there at your face. It just attacks you, it just holds no punches. It punches you in the face every second it continues, so you gotta love that. Woman of Dark Desires is probably one of my favorites and one of the first Bathory tracks I've ever heard. I just really like, the fast, the just the, no punches, no pauses in between, drum fills, blast beats on this track. I just love the snare drum of this album in general. Lars Ulrich, take notes. Yeah, and the production is really crisp, I would say, especially for a black metal album. And this song is just, full killer, it's balls to the wall, it's just amazing black metal. Yeah, this was a really enjoyable song. The vocals were really crisp, really, in your face as well. The drums were my favorite part. The guitars were really chaotic as well, in a good way, to add to the atmosphere to the album. Yeah, of course, the only thing that I've complained about is the bass. I can't hear any bass, but I believe, I've listened to, Emperor, Celtic Frost, Darkthrone, like I said, more bands, Agalog, I guess, sort of. And I haven't heard any bass on one of those, on one of those songs by any of the bands. I believe a little bit in Agalog, but you also have folk involved, so you can hear the bass on there, which I love. But yeah, for the other bands, not really. But still, this was still a really fantastic song, and I loved it. Call from the Grave was really dark as well, really brooding song. Fantastic follow up to Woman of Dark Desires. Not as good, I would say, but you cannot beat that song easily. Equimanthorn is the centerpiece of the record. It shows a bit of the atmospheric parts of the record, of the song in general, and also shows the more rhythmic and more of the chaotic vibe of the song. I just really love the diversity of this track. It can be a bit of a snooze fest sometimes, not exactly, but the songs before did it a bit better, I would say, slightly. Enter the Eternal Fire is probably one of the best songs of this entire fucking band. I love this song. Devil Orange for that fucking too. Yeah, the song's I believe 7 minutes long, and this is a really epic length for a black metal song. There are longer tracks, of course. Yeah, but this really takes the cake of the record. I would say it's even better than Woman of Dark Desires, which is great, I think. Enter the Eternal Fire just has great riffs to it, great atmosphere. It really feels like you're at the church burnings or something like that. Yeah, no, not really, but it really feels like you're burning into the eternal fire. It really just is a straight fire track. The atmosphere is perfect, the guitars are perfect, production is crisp. It's not too crisp, because otherwise it doesn't really sound black metal anymore. It isn't too underproduced, to have that really shitty black metal quality to it, like Darkthrone, which I still enjoy, but the production is just god awful. To add to the kind of atmosphere to the record, which I'm not a big fan of. If you have such a shitty production. But Bathory did it just right, and just this song is so epic, man. I love it. It's my favorite of the record. Check it out, man. And Quarton that does the growls on this. It's so epic. It really is. Chariots of Fire is also a really fire track. It's definitely a bit of a downer after the epic Enter the Eternal Fire, but still burns a bit after that song. No pun intended. Yeah, it's a bit of an afterburner. It's still awesome, but it's not Enter the Eternal Fire. I mean, come on now. 13 Candles still going with the concept of the burning thing with the fire. Yeah, this is a bit more of a brooding song. It is mostly really heavy, but also has a bit of a slow part to it here and there, which is good. It's a good diversity, but yeah, the album is basically just blowing out the candles, just saying goodbye and moving on. So I'm doing that as well. Of Doom is really it's not per se doomy, but it's kind of a brooding track. It's more about the atmosphere, more about production things that Quarton is doing here instead of actually being black metal. It's still an heavy song, don't get me wrong, but Quarton is really testing the waters here, testing what he can do, what he did on Hammerheart and Bloodfire Death. I believe those are the next follow-ups, which are seen as the biggest achievements in the Bathory discography and really of all time in black metal. So really dig this track, and outro is just kind of an useless outro. I was sitting here like, oh, this is over, I guess. Silence occurred and I was like, oh, this is it. So the outro was really pointless. It could have been 2-3 minutes longer, and the intro could have had more production to it, better production. The production overall for the album was perfect, I think. Perfect snare drum, perfect guitar sounds, perfect vocal, not enhancements, but perfect vocal stunts, growls on there. So I think everything, except for the bass, every instrument and the vocals were really great on this album. Production was really tight, everything was really crisp, every song was really great. My only really flaw with this record, I cannot really count the bass in, because who does with black metal? Do people even play bass in black metal? I believe so, but maybe not for some gimmicky shit or something like that. They sacrifice their bass player in the church burning, something like that. Holy shit, maybe that's gonna happen soon because of me. And don't blame me for it. But yeah, this album is awesome. The only really flaw that I have with this album is that not everything was Woman of Dark Desires and Enter the Eternal Fire. Not everything was like that. Outro was too short. Nocturnal Obeisance, something like that, I'm not gonna repeat that, was too short as well. Could have had more atmosphere to it. So those are the really only two mistakes of the record, the opening and the closer. You want to have a great opener, and yeah, this record didn't really have that. But Massacre was great, and Woman of Dark Desires, oh my god, it's awesome. It's really great. My rating for this is a 9.5, 9.5. It's a great black metal release. It's one of their finest, I think. I haven't listened to the rest, so I can't judge, but this was a great release. I loved it. So if you guys want me to check out more Bathory stuff, then let me know in the comments down below, because I really dug this record. There goes my fucking table, but there we go. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this album in the comments down below. I really dug it, so let me know your opinion in the comments as well. I'm gonna do some other shit now, so take care, take it easy. Have a nice day, of course. Like, comment, subscribe to the Underside Music for more videos like this one. Let me know what you think about Under the Sign of the Black Mark by Bathory. It's a great record, I think. So yeah, that was it. Hope you've enjoyed it, all the things I just said, and peace, take care, have a nice day. God bless and stay safe.